2. Gate 3, Craig Watson recovered course from a wrist injury early this season. On the outside, that's Stuart Robson. As you heard a few moments ago, just 23 points in his last 7 league meetings, looking for a substantial improvement. Peter Collins alongside me.
The track's going to be like before he goes out.
There's our starting marshal, Gary Stooks, walks away they go. Up go the tapes quickly on the inside. A great start by Scott Nicholls, but now picking up on the outside of the red helmet colours. There goes Greg Hancock down the back straight. His teammate and partner, Stuart Robson, way at the back. Hancock is going wide in red, but what a ride by Scott Nicholls out front, and these two are now going to have a real battle.
Yeah, Scott Nicholls is riding the tight line, but Greg Hancock was riding very, very wide there. It seems to be paying off at first, Tony, but he's gone far too wide on the pitch turn and lost a place.
At the halfway stage, it's looking great for the visitors from Poole, because they provide men 1 and 2. Scott Nicholls in the white helmet colour out front, his teammate and partner. A great ride by the young Aussie Craig Watson in second place with a lap and a quarter to go. And now the stars for Coventry, Greg Hancock in the red helmet colours is struggling, and really struggling at the back is Stuart Robson. But down that back straight, at the back Stuart Robson has come off, and now really real disappointment, but disappointment too. But what a ride by this man Scott Nicholls as he takes the checkered flag in front of his teammate Craig Watson in yellow. Disappointing for Greg Hancock in the red helmet colours, but a fabulous ride by that man, taking his points total for the season to 271. Scott Nicholls, what a ride by him.
A bit patchy, to be honest. It's sort of quite slick on the inside, a little bit greasy, and there's a few sort of puggy holes, and sort of catching them, and then you're hitting a slick bit, so it's a little bit tricky at the minute, but hopefully that'll, create a bit of dirt later on that should ride good, hopefully.
You looked, so we spoke just before this interview now, and you looked like you weren't really ready when the green light came on.
No, I was on the side saying, I saw a few people mess around. I thought, I'll wait, so I don't like to get up too early, and so I got up there and I weren't quite settled. Next minute the green light was on, I was trying to get my revs right and position right, but
it worked perfectly, you actually popped out, but like I noticed in the bottom corner there, it looks like it's quite loose or deep coming off the corner there. Is that going to present you with any problems?
Well, that's, because I didn't realise it was Craig behind me. I mean, I should have looked, but I didn't feel confident because then the straight it was really slick,
Right.
And then, like I said, there's little bits where there is grip. Right. So you're getting you're locking up because of the slick, and then you're hitting the grip, and it's giving it a bit of a tricky ride at the minute.
Have you changed your bike in any way, going back to the pits now?
I mean, I'll go and have a look and think, but then I've got a little gap before my next ride, and it was working not too bad, so it's, it's hard to try and know what to do.
520th appearance for Coventry. Scott Robson, yet to score double figures this season, is his teammate and partner in blue from Gate 3. Hamill Leader, his best score of the season, 7 points in a match. The Poole goes from Gate 2 in white. On the outside, in yellow and black, is Alan Rossiter, who we've seen many times here. Of course, he used to ride for Coventry. Fell off for the first time in a Sky meeting, the very first meeting we did. And I'm sure he'll be looking to do 4 laps tonight. But John Jorgensen there, twice a world finalist. And certainly at the moment back here with Coventry for yet another spell. Peter, he could be the key to this one.
39 years old, back here at Coventry again.
Away they go for the tapes, and on the inside it is Jorgensen that picks it up. He's been put under pressure round the outside by Alan Rossiter, but holding second place is Hamill Leader to Poole. Back at the rear once again in blue, Scott Robson, who's struggling. Both Robson brothers, it seems, struggling now for Coventry, but a real flyer by John Jorgensen now. He's gained a march on that straight. The others are going wide and out of control, and John Jorgensen down that back straight, getting his wheels in line, knowing exactly where he's going, and a fine performance at the moment by the veteran Dane.
Yeah, this is certainly a better ride now for Coventry because Jorgensen is leading this race, but he's got a nice line there. He knows he's got so much experience around Coventry, and certainly Hamill Leader there is having a bit of a job here to hang on to that second place because he's coming under pressure now from Scott Robson.
Well, look at this here, because Alan Rossiter made a complete hash of that top end. He's totally out of it, but Jorgensen now is in front here ahead of Hamill Leader. Back in third place is Jorgensen's partner. If it stays like this, certainly a heat advantage to the home side here, and look at the finish here, because right on the line, I think Lindquist probably just got that and held it on for a 4-2 in favour of the home team Coventry for my money, but John Jorgensen certainly winning it well from in second place Hamill Leader, third in blue was Scott Robson, which makes 4 points to 2 in favour of the home team from Coventry, and that would be 5-7 with 7 points to 5 in favour.
With this track, I know the lad said in that first heat it was a bit patchy, and the riders, the bikes are bucking around a little bit, but on the inside Scott Robson's just zoomed right by Hamill Lindqvist to get that second spot.
Well, Lindqvist certainly on the line there. Referee Jim Lawrence awarding that perfectly correctly on that photo finish to Hamill Lindqvist, the second place. But defeated.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's important for me to win the reserve races. That's really what I'm brought in to do. And so, although it's maybe not the hardest of race, it's a little bit nerve-wracking as it's the first home meeting.
Sure, you're expected to win your first race, aren't you? Obviously, but you made a good start. Scotty Nicholls came out of gate 1, and you must have watched that race, so you must have been quite confident of making the start.
Exactly. Scott made a good 1 off 1, and I always like 1, you know, so I was quite confident before I went out. But I went for the first lap, but then the track was a bit tricky, a few bit soft in places, and they caught me out up there once, and the last 2 laps I was taking it a bit easy.
They're regrading it now. Do you think that'll settle it down a little bit and give you a little bit more chance for it to be less tricky at least?
I think so. I think another 2 or 3 heats, I think it'll be fine. Last week they had a stock car, and I've been here so many years, although it's my first one for a while. First one after stock car is always a bit tricky, and we walked the track and we actually worked quite a way out before we start. I think by the time we get to 8.5, I think we'll be fine.
All right, well, we'll let you get back and get yourself sorted for the next one. Thanks, John.
From the inside, so far 696 points for Poole, should notch up the 700 tonight. Gate 2, a special night for Sean Tacey, his 300th First Division appearance. Gate 3, Lars Gunnestad, the Norwegian, in his 7th season for Poole. And on the outside, Lee Richardson, who we saw here as a wild card in the British Grand Prix. Suffered a few problems this year, but Lee Richardson, a top of the league meeting tonight. This is number 3. Away they go, and on the inside, picked up well by Gary Havlock. Havlock holds it tight, picking it up and going round the outside. Lee Richardson gets the grip and moves into second place, but now has to mount a challenge on Gary Havlock. Coming through on the inside, Lars Gunnestad in the yellow and black helmet colour. And once again, disappointment for Coventry, but elation there as Lee Richardson goes past Gary Havlock as if he was standing still and picks it up down the back straight. A truly brilliant ride by Lee Richardson.
Yeah, it's a wonderful first lap there from Lee Richardson. Certainly his strength's coming back after this illness as he's had, and certainly on this form, you know, we can see certainly Coventry doing a lot better now. What a ride from Lee.
Now the chasing has to be done by Gary Havlock in 3rd place, but his teammate and partner Lars Gunnestad is with him, and they will surely get a share of the points. But with a lap to go, Lee Richardson, the wild card in the recent British Grand Prix, the former World Under-21 champion, is really flying now, and down that back straight, just yards from the checkered flag, and Lee Richardson is going to win this. The cheers of the Coventry fans greet the young man. Gary Havlock, though, in 2nd place in the white helmet colours, Lars Gunnestad in yellow. That makes a share of the points. Coventry 3, Poole 3. It's now Coventry 8, Poole 10 with 3 heats gone. A 2-point lead
there, and when he goes round the outside of Gary Havlock, Gary looks across and there's absolutely nothing that Gary can do, and he pulls across the front of Gary to stop him, and past him as clean as anything there.
Well, he's certainly before. On the inside for Poole, it's Alan Rossiter, a former Coventry rider. Gate 2, Scott Robson goes for Coventry. Gate 3, Grand Prix leader Mark Laram. He goes for Poole in the white helmet colours. And the 1998-96 world champion Billy Hamill goes from Gate 4, currently 3rd in the Grand Prix standings, and certainly a very popular and informed rider here on his home track at Coventry. Starting Marshal Gary Snooks walks away. Jim Lawrence, the referee, lets up the tapes and away they fly. And round the outside goes Billy Hamill in red. It's Laram against Hamill. Hamill picks it up in red down the outside. Laram's got to come from behind in white. At the back it's Alan Rossiter. 3rd place now occupied by Scott Robson. But if it stays like this, it'll all be level after this heat with 4 heats gone. But what a start by Billy Hamill. And now the race is on for Mark Laram to chase him down that back straight.
Yeah, certainly Billy's leading this one, but Mark Laram's in pursuit. But they're having problems on the track. We can see that Billy Hamill's gone really wide down that bottom bend, and Mark Laram seems to be having a bit of difficulty at the moment, but the track will sort itself out.
Here goes Laram down the back straight, closing the gap to 2 bike lengths with a lap and a half to go behind Billy Hamill. 2 of the world's greatest riders in direct opposition here tonight at the Brandon Stadium with 3/4 of a lap to go. Billy Hamill's out front. Mark Laram is going to chase him. Mark Laram treasuring his recent record of success. All on the final bend. Can Laram come off it? Just meters to go. A real battle. Billy Hamill wins it in red ahead of Mark Laram in white. In third place in blue here we have Scott Robson, and that levels it up because that's 4 points to 2 to Coventry in that one, and it's now 12 apiece with 4 heats gone and 11 to go, and a truly brilliant ride behind his teammate for Poole. He goes in gate 2 in yellow. Gate 3 is Sean Tacey, as I said, in his 300th First Division appearance, struggling a little this season. On the outside, Scott Nicholls is one heat number 1, the only heat winner so far for Poole, but they packed in behind there. Coventry 12, Poole 12 as we Starley Marshall gets them in line, away they go, and picking it up on the inside is Lee Richardson. Confidence going wide. Oh, he went straight through Scott Nicholls almost there and pushed him into second place on that bend. Scott Nicholls must have wondered just what was happening. He's in second place, but Lee Richardson is at the back now. Look at that. Scott, oh dear for Sean Tacey, and well, he's picked his bike up at the back there, and another sad one for Sean Tacey, but that won't hinder his teammate Lee Richardson. He's way out front and going fast ahead of Scott Nicholls with Craig Watson in third place. This will be another split of the points, Peter, but what a first bend from Lee Richardson.
Yeah, Lee Richardson needs to win this because now Tacey's gone out of the race, then Coventry really need this 3 points now from Lee Richardson.
Well, he looks safe and sure because Scott Nicholls tended to lock up a little bit and lost a few yards, but Lee Richardson is looking confident. A really aggressive first bend took him to the front. He's never looked back since, and now Lee Richardson is going to gain his second heat victory of the night there to provide a share of the points in this one of 3 points apiece. It's now 15 all with 5 heats gone. The match is boiling up. The match is desperately close, and this man, Lee Richardson, has won both his races so far, and surely now back to fifth.
Just saw it there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be ever so close now. Obviously, Poole got a strong team, like many others in the Elite League, and they beat us here last time at home, so we've really got to pull a finger out and get going.
How are you feeling? You're back to fitness, yeah?
Just about, yeah. I think race fitness, I'm just getting back into the swing of it now, and I've done a few meetings in Sweden and in England as well, so I'm just feeling my way back in slowly.
Yeah, you're showing your true colours in a way because you've had 2 nice wins tonight. The track's not that easy, is it? And you've got to be strong and in control of the bike. You've got to be, master of your own destiny.
Yeah, you have, and the best way to do that is to get out the start, obviously. And like we said before, track is a little bit inconsistent, but like you say, you've got to ride it hard and pick your own line, really.
But you've got to feel strong, haven't you, to do that?
Yeah, obviously you have, and it's good for me to have these sort of meetings, really, to get back into it. And I'm feeling okay now, and just got to keep on carrying this way.
Righto. How about the setup? How is it?
I haven't changed nothing. I just kept it the same. Gate 1 was very grippy there, and I
just ride it.
That's all. I thought, sod it, I'll just ride it and get on with it. So I can't be bothered to change nothing.
That's what I do.
He gets on. Ram goes from the inside for Poole in white. Gate 2, that's Stuart Robson for Coventry in blue. Hamill Leader, the Norwegian, goes in yellow for Poole here from gate 3. And on the outside, it's Greg Hancock, who only 4 times this season in 24 meetings has failed to get double figures. A very consistent rider. Gate 4, and that's where the 2 big guns are in this one. The Rams gate 1, Hancock gate 4, away they go, line abreast. Hancock cuts across in the red helmet colour. Hancock picks it up down the back straight, and now once again a familiar story. The Ram has the chasing to do, and if anybody in the world can do it these days, Mark the Ram can. Back in third place, Stuart Robson in blue. At the back it's Hamill Leader, but the chase is on out front between one world champion and another hoping to be one, with Mark the Ram a lap and a half gone, some 3 bikes lengths behind Greg Hancock, and with work to do.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that there's a very, very quick line around the middle of the circuit. Mark's using it there, but it's very, very difficult to stay on that grippy patch because it tends to throw you wide, and once you've missed it, you've lost the race. But right now, these 2 are right on that hot line.
Well, Mark the Ram is doing the chasing. Greg Hancock out front. The Coventry captain is in front. The Ram comes off the bend, picks up the speed, and the race is on down that back straight between 2 of the world's top riders. The Ram's picking the outside and going for it, and here he comes to take the checkered flag. A typical Mark the Ram ride there to gain a race victory, but once again a share of the points. It's now 18 each with 6 heats gone, but Mark the Ram left it late, but we know that he can leave it as late as he likes.
Mark's just coming into the last corner on the inside. Greg Hancock has gone too tight, but Mark there, look at Mark's wheels, they're barely out of line. All that grip, his wheels are in all that dirt, and Mark does that so well. Wheels in line, grip, the front wheel is just hovering off the ground, and certainly beat Greg Hancock there by 2 bike lengths.
While Mr. Excitement himself is in the studio with Kelvin Tatum and Jonathan Green.
Yeah, we've come to expect it from Mark Laurent, but another great victory right at the last minute there. Well done.
Yeah, I'm surprised I made up so much ground as I did. I was a fair way behind there for a while, and it's difficult because there's a, one line. If you get on that racing line, it's pretty quick, but luckily he changed his mind and went for the easier ride on the last corner, but I still don't know how I made up so much ground.
Well, we do. Let's take a look at it here. You can see it now.
Yeah, you can see he's gone for the inside. I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose, because at this stage I've got the option to turn back.
Sure.
But he stayed on the inside, and
yeah, he did you a favour, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because in the previous laps he'd been drifting across onto the dirt line coming off the corner,
yeah,
and that allowed you now to keep your wheels in line.
That's right. Yeah, it was a little bit of luck, really, I suppose. But I didn't throw the towel in. I kept with him for 4 laps, and it paid off.
Now, what are we going to do about your starts, mate?
I need to sort them out tonight, that's for sure. Better lately, but not good tonight.
No, came across that 4th gate pretty quick, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. I've been watching. Gate 4's been pretty good, and one's a bit funny. You have to sort of start going uphill, if you like. So
yeah, it's almost like you're off on an off camber, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think you get the run into the corner off 4, which obviously helped him early in the race.
Sure.
Any changes you'll make?
I don't know. I might swap bikes. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel too good, but maybe it's just a track a bit choppy.
Norrie don't look too happy about that.
Well, we'll let you go and talk to Norrie about all of that in the pits, but thanks very much.
Thanks to each team.
On the inside, Billy Hamill, former world champion for Coventry. Gate 2, Gary Havelock, former world champion for Poole. John Jorgensen, the 39-year-old veteran at the moment, riding again for Coventry, is back here after missing the early part of the season.
He fancy helmets these days, Tony.
Next to him, though, Gary Havelock in white. Quite a battle this is going to be going into the first bend. And it is here between these 2 former world champions. But round the outside and picking it up is Lars Gunnestad to move into 2nd place behind Gary Havelock. And this is disappointing for the Coventry men. But here comes Billy Hamill through. And certainly Gunnestad goes wide and Hamill gets back into 2nd place. But now he's out in pursuit of Gary Havelock. Down the back straight. But now through comes Billy Hamill. A real battle on here as Hamill takes Havelock wide there. Havelock will have to cut back. Tail off at the rear is John Jorgensen. And this heat turning on its head in 2 short laps.
Yeah, if it stays like this, Tony, it'll still be all square. Billy Hamill was brilliant there to go past the 2 Poole boys, but what a wheelie there from Lars Gunnestad. But he seems to have just held on to that bike there for that 3rd place, but this would be a 3-3 if it stays like this.
Bumping around a bit like this, so the 2 points in 2nd place will be enough to take Gary Havelock to 700 for Poole. Little consolation there, as out front now, Billy Hamill in the red helmet colour is going to take the checkered flag, and Billy Hamill does just that, ahead of Gary Havelock in white. 3rd in yellow is Lars Gunnestad. For the 3rd heat in a row, the points are shared, and it's now 21 points to Coventry, 21 points to Poole. The meeting is hotting up, and so far, well, the visitors went in front from the 1st heat, but from then on it's...
Hamill's behind you, and already he's gone past Lars Gunnestad there on the bottom turn. But Billy Hamill now is in pursuit now of Gary Havelock. Havy's riding a good fast line there, but Billy Hamill gets his wheels in line very early, coming out of that bottom, side by side into the bottom bend, and Billy's just got enough speed there to go by on the inside when they enter the bottom turn. But onto the straight here, look at Billy Hamill in the red. He's got the fast line down the inside, bit of elbowing there from Billy down the back straight there with Gary Havelock. When Gary decides he's not going for that big blast around the outside, he's going to try and cut back up the inside. That's exactly what he does. Billy Hamill's got so much speed that he goes wide into that dirt and turns it really well there, but a fantastic ride from Billy.
Yeah, made a terrible start, to be honest with you. He got pinned on the inside, but I saw Lars going into 3 in the first lap. He went outside. I was left to go inside with no choice, but managed to just get a good line to pick him off.
Let's take a look at that start again.
Sure.
You can tell us what you saw.
Oh, well, yeah, I just got flat trapped, basically.
Yeah, Gary made a blind, didn't he?
He did. He made a and here I'm just stuck on the inside. I wanted to go to the outside going into 3, but I could see Lars looked at me, and he wasn't going in with Gary. He went wider, so I committed to the inside there, which worked out okay for me. It looked like he sort of slid off the line a little. And then
he didn't go in with much confidence, I don't think.
No, track's pretty difficult right now, and it's either all or nothing, as you can see. But it's definitely providing some good racing.
Yeah. And sharpened your elbow up a bit down this straight, Billy.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. You saw me coming.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I thought, oh well.
Is that a technical term, sharpening your elbow?
Sharpen your elbow, yeah.
Yeah, Javi doesn't like Americans, so he's just letting me know.
But like we're talking,
He doesn't like being beaten, no matter who it is.
That's sure. But there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that, you know, the track is awkward, and like you said, you've made up your mind you're going to attack it, because that's the way you're going to smooth it out. Because I think if you take it easy, you're going to sort of get yourself in more trouble.
Yeah, it's very easy. You sort of try to pick out the bumps, and if you look at them, you tend to go right into them. So you got to try to look past them and keep the throttle on.
Righto.
Up for a win, obviously, the Coventry Bees at the moment. It's very, very close, though. How are you going to call it at the moment?
Well, we got off to a little bit of a slow start, but I think now we're sort of hopefully finding our feet. So, you know, we can just plug away and go for it.
Yeah, you need a win, don't you? Because you've had 6 losses, and it can become a habit.
Yeah, it's we're under a lot of pressure here tonight from the management, obviously.
All right, well, best of luck. We'll let you get back to the pits.
Good job. It's still level for them on the inside. That's Scott Robson, 2 third places so far in the red helmet colours. For Poole, Hamill Leader, the Swede, a busy reserve it now be with Alan Rossiter out of the meeting. He goes for Poole in yellow. Gate 3 is Stuart Robson, a 4th and a 3rd place so far for him in the red helmet colours for Coventry. On the outside, it's Craig Watson, played 4 from his 2 rides so far. Starting Marshall moves away. Watson gets the drop on the outside and picks it up and goes round the bend there on the outside, but he's taking it up out of that bend, Craig Watson, but with him on the inside is Scott Robson. Robson goes through. Watson perhaps chickens out now, and the other Robson is going, but Watson goes again. The young Aussie from Sydney is certainly battling on the inside, but Scott Robson in the blue helmet colours for Coventry is going well too. Tail off at the back now, Hamill Leader, who faces a busy night, but the Robson brothers producing the goods here, and this performance could take Coventry into the lead by courtesy of the 2 lads from the northeast, because now it is Stuart Robson that moves into 2nd place, but back comes Watson again. Ding-dong battle in 2nd place with a lap and a quarter to go.
Yeah, there's plenty of dirt and grip on the track at the moment, Tony. We see the Robson brothers having a real go, but right in the thick of things, Craig Watson is just about hanging on now to that 2nd place.
He's having to work hard, but out front, Scott Robson is set for a heat victory here. The reserve doing well, and the cheers greet a heat victory to take... Oh, on the start and finish there, they may have got a 5-1. It was desperately tight with Stuart Robson coming through in red. Our referee, I can hear calling for a photo finish, and anything could happen there. Whether he finished in front of Watson, I do not know. And there, I think I'm right in saying, yes, getting it indeed in white was Craig Watson to hold that, with 3rd place going to the rider in red, Stuart Robson. That's a 4 points to 2 margin.
Gets pushed wide, but he's got the speed to carry on down the outside. It looks as though he's going to go past here, Scott Robson, but he decides against it. Watson cuts back to the inside, but coming into the picture also, Stuart Robson having a real good go, but now Scott Robson in the blue helmet, he's still hanging on to that lead, but in the white, Craig Watson has the dive up the inside on the pits turn, doesn't make it. Now they're all riding that quick line on the outside. There's lots and lots of grip going on there. It's not easy to hold on to these bikes. The bikes are bucking around, plenty of grip, but down here on the bottom turn you can see that the rider in red, Stuart Robson, has come straight back into the picture, into 2nd place, but lifts, but back into the picture. Craig Watson grabs that 2nd place back for those 2 points, but it was certainly all action out there, because it certainly wasn't over until the finish.
Well, it was certainly not over until the finish. It was a photo finish. Our referee, Jim Lawrence, looked at it and he could see that it just went to the rider in blue, Scott Robson. 1st place going to him, 2nd place in white to Craig Watson, as we saw him there ahead of in red, Stuart Robson, and certainly a good beating at the moment for Scott.
You held it in there, getting that grip on the wide outside there.
Yeah, I got a good gate, and the bike was just going on the outside, like it was hard to cling on. Actually, it was driving that much, but yeah, it was flying.
Did you make any changes from your first ride?
No, I've just kept everything the same.
Right. Do you think the track's settled down a little bit now? You know, it's a bit easier to ride?
Yeah, it's easy to ride, like, yeah, and I mean, definitely a lot more dirt on the outside. I was getting so much drive.
Right, nice ride anyway.
Right, so.
Well, let's turn to Craig. Craig, what a battle that was, and you got it by a photo finish there at the end there.
Yeah, it was a good ride. I was just happy I got 2nd.
It's all right, you sort of battled with Stuart. You know, 1 minute you were in 2nd, next minute the 3rd. The track obviously still a little bit tricky, but you managed to sort of get back in there.
Yeah, I've only been here once before, so I didn't really know what to expect, you know, and last time I was here it was quite slick and it's really patchy, so I haven't changed too much. Mark and the boys give me some good advice and just stayed with that, but I think I'll change a few things now and try and get further on the pace.
Well done again. We've got another heat coming.
Side Sean Tacey for Coventry in blue. Mark Moran, the flyer in white for Poole, goes from gate 3. Lee Richardson, twice a winner already tonight in red for Coventry, goes from gate 3. And the Phantom ride, the sick Alan Rossiter, who's invalided out of this meeting. Seemed a little unfair for me, but we had it with Lee Richardson for Poole in Ipswich earlier in the season. It must have 3 rides. There we are. This is heat number 9. Just 2 points between the teams. There in the red helmet colour we see Lee Richardson. Mark Laram in white. Laram 1 win from his 2 rides in the 2nd place. Richardson 2 wins so far. Thrill of plenty promised here. Going to be a battle for Sean Tacey, but away they go. Mark Laram in the white helmet colours picks it up. Going wide is Lee Richardson. He now will come through past his partner Sean Tacey, but certainly Mark Laram has the speed out front. He made the gate that time, took it to the first bend, and oh, trouble at the back here because Sean Tacey out of luck and struggling recently. Looks as if he's going to rebound because he will get a point unless he's lapped. But down the back straight, Mark Laram's in charge. Lee Richardson is in 2nd place, and this at the moment will be 3 points apiece in this one, essential for Laram to win it.
Yeah, it is. With him being on his own, he's got to get the 3 points here, but also for Coventry it's important that Sean Tacey keeps going after that 4, because if he was to be lapped then his points would be knocked out altogether. So Mark really is going really well for the 3 points in this one.
Mark Laram into the final lap, going around the centre of the track at the moment, taking it with some comfort. Lee Richardson outstripped here and not quite as fast and sharp as he looked earlier on, but Mark Laram wins this in white. In 2nd place in red is Lee Richardson, half a lap behind. Finish will be Sean Tacey in blue. That will be another 3 points apiece. It's now 28-26 with 9 heats gone. A late finish indeed for the man who came off, Sean Tacey, in his 300th First Division match, but he really... Robson goes in blue for Coventry. Gate 2, it's Lars Gunnestad for Poole in the yellow helmet colours. He, of course, on his way to that Intercontinental final weekend. For Coventry in red, Greg Hancock, their captain, goes from gate 3. And Gary Havelock with 2 second places so far tonight, taking his Poole's points total.
Just a little bit of fuel coming out from the carburetor. Carburation, you do get leaks every now and again when the bike just blows back, blows a bit of fuel out of the carb.
Starting marshal moves away, the bikes rev up, fly the tapes and away they go, and in red it's Greg Hancock to the fore this time. Going round the outside in white is Gary Havelock, but on the inside now Stuart Robson gives an opportunity for some team riding here, and can he do it? Because it's Stuart Robson can hold them. Oh! Stuart Robson has packed up completely on that bend, and now if it stays like this it'll be a share of the points for yet another 3-all. But Greg Hancock down that back straight, certainly picking it up. The cheers of the Coventry fans for their captain, the former world champion from California, with 2 laps gone, well in charge of this one, and the Poole men will have to settle for a share of the points.
Yeah, Coventry were on for a 5-1 there, Tony, but Stuart Robson's bike stopped very, very quickly. Just lucky Gary Havelock was just able to miss him, because it could have been real nasty, that one. But right now, Greg Hancock, like we said, he's going to win this race from Gary Havelock.
Very much in charge here is Greg Hancock. Has time to look back. Gary Havelock won't hurry, won't take any risks, and certainly with his Intercontinental final beckoning at the weekend, he's going to be satisfied with 2nd place here. But a share of the points at 3-all means it's now 31-29 in favour of the home team Coventry. Desperately close with 5 heats to go, but Greg Hancock will be delighted there with that heat victory, his first of the night, to take his points total to 6. But that
point in the blue, Stuart Robson's bike just stops, and just look how close Gary Havelock was there. Gary just did enough to squeeze past him, and
it's been providing some pretty exciting racing tonight. A few lifts in places, a couple small falls and stuff like that, but some good racing, and it always helps.
Let's take a look at the man who is scoring the points. To start with your team, and well, let's look at the top guys. I mean, obviously it's good that Richardson's running as well as he is.
Exactly. I mean, Lee's coming back with a vengeance after his accident that his illness that he had, and he's just been on top form, better than ever, and it's showing right now. He did the same in Sweden this last week, and it's just proved that he's a valuable asset to us.
Me and Calvin have been talking big concerns about Sean Tacey. He's not having a good night, but he hasn't had a good couple of meets, has he?
No, Sean's gone off quite a bit since the. I mean, he was absolutely flying around here beginning of the year and up until sort of midway here, but the last few weeks he's really having a hard time, and we can't pinpoint it. We're working with him, but you know, he keeps to himself a little bit too sometimes, so it's hard to get through.
Calvin, let's take a look at Poole, because obviously I think they're a bit more consistent throughout the side, and I don't know if Greg would agree.
The fundamental difference is their second strings are performing better. I think Coventry's problem has been riders like Stuart Robson and Sean Tacey, but you know, Scotty Nicholls looking good, Mark Laram on fire as normal, Gary Havert very consistent, and of course Gunnestad, that's very important there. He's picking up the bonuses and they're coming home with 3-alls all the time.
That's right. Well, we've been talking a lot
ago. Gate 2, Greg Hancock has 100 Grand Prix points. He is the world champion. Of that, there's little doubt. He doesn't even have to finish in this one to get that title. What a race we have in prospect. There they are, the starting marshal. Done so well this evening here. He's looking along the line. 4 great riders. RICHARDSON, Hancock, Golub, Laram, away they go. RICHARDSON on the inside. Laram caught at the start. He's got to go round the outside. He has got past 2 men. He's picking up, but coming through. There goes Laram round the outside of Golub. Laram is really racing here. He's gone from last to first. Laram is down this straight in front. What a ride by the Brit.
Yeah, as long as he can get fresh air, he'll absolutely fly, Mark. And what a result this would be if he can hang on and win this race. And RICHARDSON's all over him, but Mark is so fast at the end of the straights. He is going in the turn so quick.
Listen to it now. Mark Laram from Great Britain is in front. Tony RICHARDSON is in second place, the track record holder. Back in third is Thomas Golub from Poland. Greg Hancock, the erstwhile world champion who will be crowned tonight, is at the back. But with a lap to go, could we have the first British winner of a Grand Prix? Mark Laram is flying. Tony RICHARDSON's in pursuit. Laram looks back. RICHARDSON comes through on the inside. He's got to close the gate, but Mark Laram round the top bend. Mark Laram is going to win this one. He waves to the crowd. He takes the checkered flag. We've got a British Grand Prix winner. He is Mark Laram. What a night for him. What a night for him and his pals. What a night for them all. The 26-year-old was born in Malta, but he's British through and through. And Mark Laram has won the Danish Grand Prix. And isn't he celebrating?
Yeah, Laram was doing the celebrating then, but you'd already put in the hard work over the year. That was your year, and a tough one it was as well.
Oh, exactly. I mean, going into that A final, I had won the meeting about 2 heats before that, and going in the final, it was kind of relaxing, and you can see obviously I wasn't riding quite as hard as I should have, and made a bad start. But Mark was on form there, and he's doing it this year. Like he's leading the series right now, and really he's in the driver's seat. And I know how that feels to start with a win and start leading the series right off the bat. He's doing that.
We can see the points here, Greg, actually, if you want to run through those for us.
Exactly. Looking there, I mean, Mark, he really is. He's on top form, in top form. He's got Tony and Billy obviously pushing hard there. Tony the closest, which Tony's proven you can't relax.
No.
You can't relax if he's that close to you, no matter what. And Billy, of course, a hard charger as well. I mean, anything can happen in the next 2 rounds.
Do you feel Mark is capable of winning the World Championship?
I tell you what, Mark's more than capable, definitely. If he can keep his cool and ride the way he's been riding, not make any silly moves, no doubt in my mind he can be world champion. And it just got to be cool now.
I'm going to say that's the point. I remember you in '97, and that is what you did, because you had the same sort of pressure. And let's talk about that for a second, because there is that point where you're riding well, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I got to win it now. And that there is a difference, isn't there?
There really is. I mean, Mark's proven that he can do it when it comes down to the wire. If he has to do it, he can prove it. But you know, right now he can't afford to make any little slip-ups. There's no way that he'll make up for that if he does. And I think that he's got to go in there full of confidence. He's just got to ride smart, like he's done. Made almost all the A finals, and he's sitting pretty. So it's important.
Who's going to be the biggest thorn in his side? Is it going to be RICHARDSON or is it going to be Hamill?
It's going to be Tony, of course, but I'm not going to say Billy's not going to be a threat, because anything can happen, as Billy's proven as well. So I know how Mark feels sitting up there. Everybody's gunning for you, but you know, hang in there. It'd be good to see. It'd be good for England to have another world champion.
Well, it will be good for England, and of course, Sky Sports will be.
Best score of the season, page 6 already. His best for Poole is page 7. Billy Hamill goes from gate 2 in red, the former world champion. Scott Nicholls certainly looking impressive at the moment. Poole's top point scorer of the season from gate 3 in white. And John Jorgensen in his first home meeting back here for Coventry. The 39-year-old Dane goes from the outside in the blue helmet colours, wearing the red and the blue helmet colours throughout against Poole, the white and yellow and black, 2 points behind, and Away they go on the inside. A real start by Craig Watson, but in blue, John Jorgensen goes wide, and now battling through is Scott Nicholls in white. Back in third place in red is Billy Hamill, who now has work to do, the former world champion, because the race leader is now the man in white, Scott Nicholls for Poole, and there's a chance of team riding here because with him is Craig Watson, and now Hamill's got to battle his way through.
Yeah, Billy seems to be spinning a lot. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere at the moment, Tony. Maybe he's getting too much air now around that carburettor. Too much wheel spin. It could have had the opposite effect than what it was meant to do.
The Poole riders spreading themselves across the track, and if it stays like this, they will move into a 2-point lead and could be set for a battle for that bonus point. With just over a lap to go now, Billy Hamill will have a job to break these two, because in yellow and black it's Craig Watson, and this is Craig Watson's best performance in the Elite League since joining Poole from the lower divisions just a few months back, and he'll be enjoying this one because he takes the checkered flag ahead of his teammate and partner in white, Scott Nicholls. Back in third place is Billy Hamill in red, and that is very much as they started the meeting, with a 5 points to 1 after the interval. It's now 32-34 with the visitors from Poole in the lead by 2 points. Remember, it was...
Yeah, it was really good. Scotty waited up for me a few times there. It was perfect, you know. I was really pleased to finish there.
You looked almost a little bit surprised there, Craig. You sort of like rocketed off the start. It was a fantastic start, and then you were sort of like you're in front of Billy. You can see it here. You can see it. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I changed a few things on the bike. I didn't expect it sort of to come off the start that hard, really. And I'd done a practice start, it didn't feel that great. And then here we see like Scotty just gets alongside me and just keeps Billy out. So we just rode inside, outside. It was perfect.
Were you comfortable down there, Scott? Did you feel, you know, that... because sometimes in those situations your momentum can be lost, and the guy in third can sort of swoop you.
That's the only thing I was a bit worried about, is so I could hear Billy was sort of more out where Craig was, and I just thought, you know, I was spinning me, so I thought if he gets on the outside and me coming out, I might kind of stub with this. Some puggy bits, and I managed just to be able to line them up, and just gave me that little bit down the straight, so I mean, it was working good.
You know this track very well, obviously, but you know that Billy can come from anywhere really to take a win, can't he?
Well, that's it. I mean, he's no slouch, and you know, luckily me and Craig were in a good position, and he was riding good on the outside, and I mean, like I said, I mean, just to find a little bit of grip coming out, and you know, the whole Billy back me, that was an important race for us. So.
Bonus point at stake. Are you going to get it, boys?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, that's what we're here for. So.
Fair enough. Well, we'll let you go and prepare for it and do the changes you need to.
Side Hamill Lindqvist, the Swede, I have to say, too disappointing. Last place in his last two outings. He goes in yellow from the inside for Poole. Lee Richardson for Coventry, gate 2. Gary Havelock, 3 second places so far from his 3 rides. The Poole captain from gate 3. And on the outside, that's Scott Robson in the blue helmet colours, and he's having his best meeting for a long while for the home team Coventry, and could play a major part. Look at the wide berth for Scott Robson on the starting marshal, moves away, Gary Snooks, and away they go into that first bend, and on the inside, Hamill Lindqvist is going to be taken on the outside by Gary Havelock in white. Down the back straight he goes. Hamill Lindqvist is with him, but trying to get round on the outside is Lee Richardson, who's going to surely come through into second place here, and does. A brilliant corner by Lee Richardson, and now the challenge is mounted on the front man, Gary Havelock. Lee Richardson is flying in red in second place for Coventry, but at the moment another heat advantage the way of the Poole Pirates, with Gary Havelock out front in white. In third place it's Hamill Lindqvist in yellow and black. That will be a 4-2, but Richardson can work down the back straight.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Lee Richardson's got the speed or the strength to actually go around the outside of Gary Havelock. We know he's really having to go, but Havelock is very, very cunning, lots and lots of experience, and Havy's just riding right where Lee Richardson wants to be.
Gary Havelock could be here for his first heat win of the night, bar a miracle for Lee Richardson on the final bend, and this will preserve the lead of the visitors from Poole, with Gary Havelock taking it in white ahead of Lee Richardson in red. Third place in blue belongs to Scott Robson. It's another split of the points for the 7th time this evening. It's a 3-all. And certainly from the point of view of Poole Pirates, they are still in front by 2 points. It's 35-37.
You held him on.
Yeah, I could hear him behind me. I knew he was there. I was trying to ride as smooth line as I can. The track's a bit patchy tonight and inconsistent. It's like really hard and slick in some places, and you spin and you hit a bit of grip. So it's a difficult ride, but we've been making some alterations to the bikes, and I've been making good starts, which is the most important thing.
I was going to say, you've been making good starts all night, just struggling a little bit with the track surface, but in that race it was important for you to win it, to keep, because you had that 5-1 to keep.
Very important, yeah. Team manager said to us before the race, it's a really important one, you've got to win it, so
I did my best and I managed to do it.
Sure. Normally see you in heat 13. What was the thinking behind that? You know, it's obviously Scott's riding at one tonight.
Yeah, Neil called me up maybe 3-4 weeks ago and said wanted to change the pair, like the team away from home.
Right.
But Scott wanted me at 3, and you know I'm never been bothered really where I ride, so I just said yeah, no problem. So I think it's just something he'd been working on.
Okay. All right. So.
And what about the overall win tonight? It's still close, but you've got the advantage. That last one before this was so important.
Yeah, it was very important. That was a great ride from Scott Nicholls, you know, on the inside there. He rode 4 laps, he knew exactly where Billy was and he knew exactly where Craig was. And it was fantastic team riding.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll let you get...
Former world champion Greg Hancock, the Coventry captain, goes in red from the inside. Scott Nicholls going tonight with already a points total of 7, paid 8 for Poole Pirates is in white. Billy Hamill, another former world champion, and 3rd in the Grand Prix series, goes for Coventry from gate 3. And Mark Laram, the Grand Prix leader, rider at the moment, dropped just a single point tonight, 8 points from 3 rides. He goes from the outside. Mark Laram can get the gate. Well, he'll take some chasing. Poole 37, our starting marshal, moves away up by the Saints pretty quickly. And it's battle abreast as they go into that first bend. But picking it up is Greg Hancock. Speed round the outside for Billy Hamill. And now the 2 Coventry ex-world champions are 1 and 2. And Mark Laram's got to do it from the back. And Mark Laram is currently moving through into 3rd place. He's going to take on and challenge Greg Hancock in 2nd. But Billy Hamill's out front. Scott Nicholls is at the back. Down the back straight they go. Mark Laram in pursuit to provide even more entertainment. But a 5-1 here for Coventry with half the race gone would put them back in charge by 2 points. But in blue, out front, Billy Hamill. Laram has work to do. Hancock is occupying the major part of the track.
I think if Mark Laram's going to get by here, he's going to have to pull something very, very special out the back, because certainly the 2 Americans here are pulling away from him.
Well, if anybody can, he can. Mark Laram comes off the bend, but out front, Billy Hamill is certainly going to win it. Laram will try and put some pressure on. Scott Nicholls is at the back, but it looks as if the Coventry cheers will resound round Brandon Stadium here, because a valuable 5 points to 1 margin with Mark Laram back in 3rd place makes it 40-38 in favour of the home team with 2 heats to go. What a fabulous meeting we have here. The bonus point, Coventry will be 5 in front now with this scoreline, and certainly the Coventry fans are mighty.
Talked about that one quite seriously before, because the track's a little bit strange, and we watched the 5-1 that Scott had with Craig Watson, and they rode that really well, so I didn't want to get too fast on the inside. Billy got away and just went.
Tell me something, you chose a very, very tight line on the very inside where everybody else has been leaning in from that inside gate. Why did you do that?
It's quite moist down there, really damp, and the dirt is really tacky, so you get a nice jump out of that, and it didn't go as good as I expected or thought it was going to do, but it was enough.
Do you think your strategy with taking 2 and 4 when you won the coin toss pay dividends for that race? Because obviously you were off 1 and 3. Was that your thinking behind that?
Yeah, you know what, only purely because the track was quite wet down there to start with, and I didn't think gate 1 was going to be that good in the first heat. Scott proved me wrong, but I was pretty excited to go into gate 1 at this time, and Billy made a great one.
You seem to come out of gate 3 perfectly then.
Yeah, you know, I've been struggling with my gates tonight, so you know, I tried a little something different, and I'm definitely making progress now. It's just, you know.
Oh yeah,
way
faster than that one.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't gating in the beginning of the night, and I needed that right there. That was good.
What was the reason? What was the thinking about keeping your cover off?
For my gating, I'm having problems getting into the bike on the start a little bit.
Right.
So we're in the process of making...
We had quite a technical idea about that. But there was more air around the air filter, and you're getting more power.
No, actually, I to be honest with you, I think I get more power with the cover on, because it's an airbox effect. It seems like it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Poole came here looking for that bonus point. You're not going to let him have it, are you?
Oh, no way. We're not going to let him take that. And we want the win tonight. We want the bonus point. We want to carry on up the ladder, as I said earlier.
I was going to say, after what you've gone through in the last few weeks, you're ready for a win, yeah?
Hey, we're buzzing.
All right, the bees are buzzing. We'll let you get back.
He goes from the inside in white. For Coventry, John Jorgensen with a victory first time out in the he failed to score since, goes in blue for Coventry from gate 2. Emil Lindquist goes from gate 3, and on the outside, Sean Tacey, the luckless rider.
Not been having a good night really up until now.
Remember, 40-38 in favour of Coventry in the red and the blue helmet colours, but picking it up is Lars Goodestead for Poole. his teammate in second place, that is Hamill Leader, but now coming through into second place is John Jorgensen. Can he produce the good when it matters? Coming through into third place now, a battle for Sean Tacey at the back, but the race leader is Lars Gunnerstad, and that is what Poole want to see. It could all go to the final heat. It could go to the final heat level if it stays like this. The battle at the back too is important now, with Lindquist coming through there into third place, but the race leader and set for the checkered flag is Lars Gunnerstad with a lap and 3/4 to go.
Yeah, Poole have got to certainly get at least this 4-2 in this one to stay in the match, but from the outside there, Sean Tacey's having a big go.
Well, if it stays like this, both the bonus point and the match result will all hinge on the final heat, but now work to go on the last lap here, because Lars Gunnerstad in white looks set for victory, but the battle at the back is what's going to decide it, as Sean Tacey comes through there to take up second place, and this is what the fans wanted to see, because they've got a 3-all now as we go past the checkered flag. First place goes to the rider in white, Lars Gunnerstad. Second in blue there was Sean Tacey. Third in red came John Jorgensen. A share of the points at 3-all, which means that the home team Coventry go into the final race leading by 43 points to 41. It all hinges on the final, they may say here. Coventry leading by 2 points. Scott Nicholls on the inside of the white helmet colours for Poole. Gate 2 for Coventry, Greg Hancock, their captain. Gate 3 in yellow for Poole, Mark Laram, current Grand Prix leader. On the outside, Billy Hamill. A 4-2 for Poole will earn them a draw here tonight. 5-1 would earn them a victory. Any other score would seem to give the meeting the way of Coventry.
He can possibly do that, but it's certainly going to be all on in this.
On the Randon in yellow, Gate 3 as they look down at the tapes, up by the tapes and away they go. Not a single stoppage tonight, but Greg Hancock goes there first, round the outside in yellow, goes Mark Laram to pick it up, and now the race is on. The battle for third place will be vital if Laram holds it out front, and now battling is Scott Nicholls to try and hold out Billy Hamill. Away down they go, but Hamill and Hancock are now in second and third place for a share of the points, will ensure victory here to the home team Coventry, who go into this 2 points in front. The man at the back, Scott Nicholls, has work to do. Mark Laram looks back for his teammate and partner at the halfway stage. Coventry set for a victory in this match.
Yeah, it looks that way. Certainly the two Coventry boys now, they're not making an attempt to catch Mark Laram. They're actually riding together here side by side. They've got to keep Scott Nicholls at the back to win this match.
Yes, team riding in second place will ensure victory in this league meeting. The bonus point as well, and completing a great night for Coventry, because they will have netted 5 points from their last 2 meetings, home and away against Poole. The checkered flag beckons for Mark Laram, but the glory belongs to the men in second and third place in red and blue helmet colours for Greg Hancock and Billy Hamill. A great night for Speedway, a great night for the meeting. It's ended Coventry 46, Poole 44. The bonus point as well goes to Coventry. The handshakes are genuine. Mark Laram is the heat winner. A great performance by him, ahead of the pairing of 2 world champions for Coventry. Their captain Greg Hancock taking second place, Billy Hamill third place. A share of the points at 3-all, and 9 heats are finished level. The wheelies from the 2 Californians, ex-world champions, show exactly what this has meant to them. They've come back from being behind early on. 5-1, the first heat went the wrong way, but since then Coventry have battled back, and they finished with a glorious victory by 46 points to 44, with that final heat 15 providing victory.
Lean spell of late, and finally they've given you something to smile about.
Yeah, a couple of months we've had, you know, especially with the injuries to George and Lee Richardson and that. But tonight they all got stuck in and rode well, and I think they deserved the victory tonight.
Yeah, well done indeed. Let's turn our attention to the boys that pulled it off again, Greg and Billy. Billy, well, great, you know, the Heat 15 is exactly what you needed to do, and you just held off Scott in the end.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that was a tough old race. Mark got away clean, and it was me, Greg, and Scott for the rest of 4 laps, you know, a lot of pressure, but yeah, it was good, you know, good racing.
El Capitan, anybody else you want to point out today?
Well, I got to say, I mean, it was a team effort. Obviously, we did the best that we could. We fired as hard as we could, and a couple of guys got more points than they had in the last couple of meetings. So we're getting it back up. Everybody feels good, and we just got to keep that momentum.
Do you feel as though you can start a run now? We're getting towards that side of the season where, you know, you need a night. It'd be nice to finish on a high, wouldn't it?
Exactly. I think we've hit our lowest point now, so there's no way we're going to go any lower. We're definitely on the way back up.
So the bee's buzzing full on tonight.
Buzzing, baby, buzzing.
I think it was an important victory for them. They've had a bad time. I think it was good to see Lee Richardson back healthy and scoring points. And I was just going to say to Colin, actually, I think I could have done the same job for you in E15. You know, I could have done it, Colin. I could have done it, mate.
Well, while Kelvin starts town for another job, we'll let the other guys get off and let you celebrate with the boys. If you can stay with us, Billis, yeah?
Okay.
Billy Hamill.
It's been mixed, really. My last Grand Prix was a bit of a disappointment. I'm still trying to get over that. But, you know, I'm still up there, and, you know, I want to finish definitely on the podium. And obviously, I'm just going to do the best I can in each and every round. I don't really have the pressure on me that maybe Mark will have at this point in time. Sure. So I got to just make the most of that. I mean, you can't take nothing away from him. I mean, it's looked like it's been his the whole, you know, he's been very consistent, but he's yet to win a Grand Prix. So, you know, I've just got to get stuck in there, you know, and I'm sure he's thinking the same thing. So it's.
I remember when you won the World Championship the first time. I'm sure you do very much as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, most people didn't give you any chance at all. You know, Hans Nielsen had quite a considerable lead, but with your attitude, you know, you'll never say die attitude. You came.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at it. Why talk about it? Let's take a look at it. It was back in 1996.
From a place in the track history books, and his pulses must be racing, the adrenaline must be pumping. He's got to make this start. He knows that it isn't the easiest thing in the world to come from the back. He has got on the inside of him Greg Hancock. There's the lineup. Next to him, Mark Loram. Grid 3 has Sam Ermolenko. He could be the danger man in white, the experienced Sam Ermolenko. And Hamill on the outside. Here we go. The A final. The 1996 Grand Prix crown will be decided in just a moment, and off they go, and it looks like Hamill's got away. Hamill has made the start, and so has Hancock. He was leading all over Sam Ermolenko, but it is Billy Hamill who hit the start, and now he has just got to keep going for glory.
Well, Dave, that outside position certainly worked for him. He willed that bike to get to that first corner.
And Mark Loram has ridden right out of his socks because he's come bursting through into second place, and now he's pressurising Billy Hamill, and Mark Loram seems to have found turbocharging in second place.
Mark Loram's going to use all that dirt, and the way he's going, he may actually catch Hamill, and that'll really throw the spanner in the works. He's making a run round this outside.
Third place it is Hancock, and Sam Ermolenko off the pace. Just 300 metres, less than 300 metres to go for Billy Hamill from California, and Cradley and Stoke in the British League, and he's going to carry all before him. Hamill is the champion, and the Ram gets up into second place. It was enthralling speedway. Billy Hamill did everything he had to do. You have to take your hat off to the man from California. The pressure was on him. He had it all to do. He had stolen the title from Hans Nielsen in a land of fairy tales. They came here looking for a fairy tale. There's been a wicked fairy. It is Billy Hamill. But what a triumph. And now the celebrations will begin.
Mixed emotions, obviously, on that night, but what a wheelie for a first start. But you really did. I mean, Hans Nielsen had pushed you all the way, and it was a great year. But tell me about that feeling as you came over the line.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, it's your lifetime achievement. It's what you work your whole life for, you know, since a little kid. So definitely, you know, one of the best days of my life, definitely. And I think every champion has said it, that you can't really, the emotions are so high. But
who are you bringing over then?
My wife and my little daughter.
There they are. And the mechanics who played a big part.
Absolutely, man. Everybody was on song. That you know.
But I think the way you did it, Billy, like I was saying, you know, the way you did that, you came out of nowhere. You know, that must have given you such a buzz because, you know, the odds were against you.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, it was nobody really gave me a chance. I was definitely the underdog all season, so that's the way I like it, and I don't mind that. That's a certain amount of pressure, but yet it's a certain amount of pressure that's not on you as well. So I seem to excel under those situations.
It's a similar position now.
Very similar. So you know, who knows? We're going for it. I'm not really even thinking about it. I'm just taking it one Grand Prix at a time.
Sure.
Obviously in '97 it was great year. You were close again. '98 wasn't good for you. But you know, how do you feel that you're riding now compared to back when you won the World Championship?
I feel on my day I'm just as good, if not better. I mean, everybody's sort of gotten, you know, there's more guys that are probably capable of winning a world championship now when, well, you know, I was just up and coming. I probably wasn't even capable of taking the world championship then. Now you've got, you know, probably 8 to 10 guys that are capable of doing that. So, you know, I feel extremely good when I'm on song, but I've had some blips as well, you know. So I think, you know, I obviously know I have to improve on that.
Looking at the Grand Prix standards, obviously expectations in this country are huge for Mark Laram at the moment, but with the likes of you and Richardson right behind him, he's got his work cut out and he can't take his eye off the ball for 1 minute, can he? No, I mean, the one thing you can see in Mark, he's extremely focused, and I think that's why he is leading the World Championship this year. And the likes of Louis and Crump can play their part as well, can't they? Absolutely. All the, you know, you look down that list, you can go down all the way to Greg at number 12. Any of those guys were capable of being world champion at the beginning of the series. Yeah. Obviously now not so, but that's how stiff the competition is now, and I think those guys are definitely going to play a part in the world championship this year. Yeah, all those guys are capable of winning Grand Prix, so they can influence the way the Grand Prix can turn out. Yeah. And so, you know, like, I think probably when it started, there was only probably a handful that could win Grand Prix. But that's it. So far, I think it's been very exciting. There's no question about that. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the format is from a rider's perspective not the greatest, because there's a little bit of luck involved in it on the starting grids and stuff like that. But that's where strategy comes in, and I mean, I think it's a great speedway for the public. It's definitely thrilling and exciting, and makes it great for the audience. Well, best of luck in the Grand Prix.
The elder brother of